Another week of previews, and I guess it brings up another discussion from me. We'll start off with the first preview that we were given this week, the third Kaze Kage theme. This, to be frankly, it's not that surprising. The third Kaze Kage was actually a bit better than I imagined it to be. And of course, if you've got the puppet deck, there you go. That's your staple. Um, it's got a you've got a good summoning with a treasure puppet. You've got Iron Sand Scatter Showers just to stack the effect even quicker to kind of rush your opponent with it. And Iron Sand Unleashed. All that is pretty understandable. And success of Kaze Kage just by itself would be kind of fun to play, don't you think? Just bringing back old Curse of Sand and Revenge of Rebirth Kaze Kage. But no, it's the third Kaze Kage does what it does, and I can't say I'm disappointed with it. It's good. Uh, I am officially cautious about puppet decks now, though. It's a considerable force if it gets to turn 6 and they get that puppet out there with Sasori. And now looking at today's previews, uh, let's. I'm gonna start this off from the back here. Puppet Show. I can't say it belongs in every puppet deck. If you're gonna really be hardcore on Crow, Black Ant, and Salamander, by all means, go ahead and use it. I think it'll be a little bit tricky to play. And kudos to you if you can actually legitimately plan it into getting the puppets into the chakra area and getting them in play with that mission. That it's if you get it off, kudos to you. Just hope and pray that you'd be well protected after that. Perfect defense. I'm starting to understand what I guess this is Wynn's kind of answer to all the better cards out there, and I can't say it's that surprising. Wynn was always meant to be the negation and the protection effects. So perfect defense, I like it. It's pretty good for what it does. Any Even a tempo deck could possibly use this if they want to. It's iffy if a tempo deck wants to use it because at the very least they would have maybe two Tactician Conquerors and maybe one or two Salamanders. Understandable to that extent, but for puppet decks, for me, Salamander, hardcore puppet decks, I imagine Salamander would be in there at least, and that wouldn't be that bad of a card to throw in. It could definitely replace substitution by puppet if you only run Salamander and you don't run Crow or Black Ant. Um, Continuous firing of poison needles. Uh, I guess the showdown effect for this would be to compare this to would be more like a Water Dragon Jutsu. And I know Water Dragon Jutsu in this case might be the slightly better in this case because it guarantees an injured status and it's just one less specific chakra. However, I actually like continuous firing of poison needles more because it's pretty much does more against your opponent. It's like basically if you think discarding one of their ninjas isn't enough and you want to get the whole team with it. I can't find anything wrong with that. If somebody plays it, I will pray that I have some kind of negation in my hand. It's I guess however it's a little bit more open to negation in itself because it's open to gigantic fan and stuff like that. But I like that jutsu. It definitely makes me want to attempt to get that off late game. Especially. We'll start off with the newer turn 5 Sasori now as well. Um, this card, during your mission phase, you can discard two of your chakras with a win symbol. In that case, select one ninja card in your discard pile and deploy it. At the end of that turn, if that ninja card still remains in play, remove it from the game. This, at first glance, doesn't seem like that good of an effect, and even though he's still got the same stats as before, he's got ambush. That's the other good news about it. Um, However, it does make me want to ask some questions. Again, this set is kind of making everybody double check what deploying a ninja specifically means. Even that has kind of left my head for a little while, so I'm not gonna give any helpful info on that one just yet. Um, this effect, I can see why it's so good, and all I can say is if you're gonna run this, you will know that it's going to be brilliant in terms of platooning ninjas and squatting ninjas. If you could, because or it can it's a variety of it's a more variety of things than you think. You can, let's say, let's just throw an example. Fire Wind deck, and you run this Sasori. Let's say you've got an Itachi in your discard pile that can maybe cripple a ninja, or any ninja for that matter that has a put in play effect, like the Growth Coin Third Hokage. If that's in your discard pile, you play this little number, and then on your next turn when you deploy another ninja and you put him in play, that's growth all ninjas, and pretty much then his purpose would be served right then and there, and boom. So I really can't find that much problem with Sasori, especially if you've got a ninja in there with a put in play effect, and then you can platoon it. So like in a mono wind deck, you can especially use this against like another with Tamari, for example, especially something like Wind Scythe or Wind Pressure. Wind Scythe or Wind Pressure, you can at least discard one card in their hand, platoon it, they are safe. So definitely a good Sasori in its own right. That I can actually certainly understand. I can see that to be a really good super. I find that to be a great super rare. Now I don't know how much time I got, so pardon me if I get cut off on this. So Sorry Puppet Mode, turn 6/1. When one or more of your opponent's ninjas are injured due to damage from this ninja's team, place a poison coin on those ninjas, and it requires a Sasori ninja with an entrance cost of 5 from your discard pile of your village to be removed from play. For all you people out there that are knocking on Sasoris, mainly this Sasori. Pardon me, I got allergies right now. That are knocking on this Sasori, I just have one question. What is wrong with you? I mean, this is an amazing effect, especially with one specific card. This is, quite frankly, I don't know how you guys can't see it. Do you have any idea how easy it is to pull this effect off and mess your opponent up? I'm not going to say anything. No, because I was just on the phone with a friend of mine who actually had a puppet deck had a puppet deck in mind for this set. Which is frankly the only thing that sadly is keeping him in it. Uh, this card put with one other particular card at the least that I can think of at the top of my head is quite frankly so annoying. Why I have not seen a single post on this just yet, I don't know. And if I missed it, I'm sorry. But this, with one particular other ninja, oh, you people will be having so much bigger second thoughts about this card. You know, I will just say one thing. Does it require him to be sent out to battle? That's my hint, okay? And if you guys ever think about the card before I do, if you guys know about the card, I suggest you keep that to yourself and PM me so that you can actually freaking so if I can actually freaking tell you in private, if you want to say that out in public, if you really want to wreck the surprise of it, I mean the podcast might do it might do it after this. Quite frankly, I am begging you guys, Zero, Tyler, Bruce, please guys, I really don't want them to know about the one particular card that can go extremely well with that. I don't know if any questions are necessary for this card to be pointed out, but one particular card is with this card is quite frankly amazing. And I can certainly see the deck being quite well if it's run with the appropriate tempo in the early game to go against OC. If they can last long enough to get that Sasori Puppet mode out there, it is awesome. And if you got the right juices in your hand, yes! But frankly, I am not disappointed about the Sasori Puppet mode at all. This lives up to the hype. I don't care what any of you say. This is by far the Sasori to run if you freaking want to run that hardcore puppet deck. Okay, this is the one you want to run, and it's so good. This doesn't even need to be in a mono puppet deck itself. This can be in a tempo wind deck, and I'm not losing my mind here. You guys are being freaking ignorant. This card is great. Why you haven't seen it yet, I don't know why. But frankly, find out soon. PM me when you think you know. Okay? And frankly, and when you tell me and you try to say that it's not that great, I will no. Bad. You don't argue with what I say because everything I know is true. Right then.